Welcome to Mastering Solutions. In this problem, we'll be using some trigonometry to figure out the straight line distance from the starting point for this person. And they say that Veronica is in Chicago and she goes, let's draw a compass first, north, south, east, and west. So they say that she starts out and she goes 4 blocks north to Superior. So she comes up 4 blocks. Then she turns and goes 2 blocks east, 2 blocks, and then she goes a block south, and now is at her destination. And they want to know what this straight line distance is from where she started out right here up to where she stopped. And you might look at this and be like, how do I do that, right? There's not really like an obvious right triangle, so it would be really confusing to try and figure out like what the distance is. But there actually is. You could think of it 2 ways. One, you could draw a triangle right here. Or you could extrapolate this line down here. It's the same in either spot. And then you could come up this way. I like to think of it on this bottom one, but it's literally the exact same thing. So we know that this distance is 4, but if we come down 1, that means that this leg is 3. Obviously this one is 2, so this one will also be 2. So now we have our triangle, and to figure this out, we just use Pythagorean's theorem to find C for the hypotenuse. So Pythagorean's theorem states that with a right triangle, c squared is equal to the square root of a plus the square of a plus the square of b. Now to find c, we take the square root of both sides. So c is equal to the square root of a squared plus square root of b squared. And now we can plug in the numbers. Now you can do this 2 ways. One, you can plug in 3 and 2, and then take the number for c and multiply it by these numbers up here. We have 2 different lengths though, and so I'm going to multiply them first to plug it in just so we don't get anything confused. So they say that the east-west blocks are 400 feet long. So 2 is east-west, that is 400. Meters times 2, so it'll be 800. So square root of 800 meters squared plus the square root of the, the north-south blocks are 280 feet long. So 3 north-south is times 280 feet. I say this was meters, it's feet. Okay, so we have 280 times 3. Okay, so what is that? 280 times 3. Yeah, 840. Okay, so now 840 feet squared. The square root of 800 squared plus the square root of 840 squared gives us 1160 feet. And if we need to put it into scientific notation, that would of course be 1.16 times 10 to the 3 feet. So depending on how they ask you for the answer, this is the correct answer, 1160 feet or 1.16 times 10 to the 3 feet, which is the same thing, just notated differently.